everybody. Welcome to True Crime Paranormal with this psychic sister, Christy Brower. I am here for my Saturday night pop up and excited to be sharing a new case with you, a case that is very concerning to me. I also want to say that I want to welcome some new listeners we have tonight. We are now streaming live on Spoon. Spoon is a streaming app. It's pretty awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there, and we are, guest streamers over there. So all of our live shows will be streaming there, as well as in, our live streams in Facebook and YouTube and the usual things that we do. So if you hear me greeting stream or Spoon, that's why. It's because we have some new friends. So pretty exciting stuff. Well, let's get right to it, my friends. I'm here tonight with a case that I'm finding very troubling, and you may have heard of this. This is a very current case, but one that just is, I don't know, it's eating at me. And this is the case of Christina Nance. So you've probably heard about this because it has been all over in the news. Christina went missing on September 27th, we think, although, well, the date for sure is questionable. Let's just say that. Somewhere between the 27th, the 25th and the 27th is the last time her family heard from her. So this is in Huntsville, Alabama. Christina has some challenges and had some experience with the police in the past in the form of the CIT unit, which is where CIT is the crisis intervention team. And so CIT helps people who are having a mental health issue, some kind of a behavioral issue, that kind of a thing. And so Christina was fairly well known to the police there in Huntsville. Well, her family reported her missing somewhere around the first part of October because they hadn't heard from her in several days and they were worried about her. And they really heard nothing, found nothing until October 7th. And on October 7th, a police officer discovered Christina in an unused police van, and she had died there in the van. Now, this is problematic on many levels, as you can imagine. So, what the police are saying, and they've shared some footage, some surveillance footage of who they say is Christina. And I want to put quotes around that because I'm going to show you a picture. And for those of you that are listening and not watching, this the description of this show here on YouTube and on Facebook, there are links where you can go and watch the video. But the video, really just a picture for those of you that are watching, is the most helpful. And then for those of you that aren't watching, I will describe it to you so that you can understand what we're looking at here. So I'm just going to share this right now. This is a still that I took out of the surveillance video that the police have released. And so what we're looking at is we're looking at a parking lot. And in this parking lot, there are a few cars, including one that is a police cruiser, kind of in the far corner. There's a police cruiser there. And hey, welcome. If you're just joining from Spoon or if you're just joining from anywhere else that we're talking tonight, this is a true crime pop-up, and I'm talking about the Christina Nance case. So I just want to welcome you. So in this photo, we see a figure, probably a person. They're moving in the video, they're moving around, and you can see that they are in fact a person. In the photo that I'm sharing on YouTube, this person appears to be walking toward the police cruiser. Now, across a little median is another part of a parking lot, and there are a couple of vans and an SUV parked there. So what the video shows is an individual that you cannot identify at all. You cannot tell any features, you can't tell any indication of gender or age or even what they're wearing. It just appears very dark. So when they first come into this parking lot, they appear to be sort of on the other side of the police cruiser, possibly sitting on the curb or something to sort of lower down so that you don't see them for a minute. Then they get up and they walk around the police cruiser for a minute, and then they sit on the hood of the police cruiser. And then they walk down to the left side of the parking lot a little ways further, kind of where there are some trees, and they sit on the curb. I have to tell you that to me, it looks like someone who is waiting for something. They appear to be waiting in this parking lot. That's what it looks like. They're just sort of wandering around and then they sit for a few minutes and then they walk around. So then this figure walks past the police cruiser and in between these two white vans that are over on the right side of the parking lot. Welcome, Spoon, if you're just joining. This is a true crime pop-up. We're talking about the Christina Nance case. And I know you guys are brand new to us because we're brand new to you. So I just want to say welcome to you. So this figure walks across the median and in between the two white vans. Walks behind the larger of the two white vans, and then that's where we lose them. So the police are interpreting this as that this person is for sure 100% Christina Nance. There is absolutely no way that they can confirm that. Trust me. I tried, blowing this photo up, enhancing it. No, it just pixelates. You cannot tell who that is. Also, they say that she walks around the back of this larger van, opens the van, and gets in it. Well, I guess they must be clairvoyant because you cannot see that actually happen in the video. You see the person walk behind the white van, and then you just don't see them anymore. So the theory that the police are sharing is that this beautiful late 20s Black woman, Christina Nance, I'm showing a picture of her here now, but you can see a picture of her online if you just search her name, opened the back of that van, climbed in, and closed the door. Well, here's the problem with the van. The van was made to be a prisoner transport van. Now that means that you cannot open the doors from the inside. So if in fact this was Christina who crawled in the back, and we know at some point Christina ends up in the back of this van, but we don't know that the person on that film is Christina. Please go watch it. It's easy to get it. Watch it all. I'd love to hear what you think, but absolutely, there is no way in hell that you can tell that that's her. But ultimately, what the police find on October 7th is that some of the windows have been opened in the van. They're the old push-out kind of windows, like they're not big enough to actually crawl out, but they are big enough to, open and get some air. So some of those windows have been opened in the van, and a police officer notices a pair of shoes laying on the ground next to the van. And that's what gets their attention. And they go over and they look in the van, and there they see Christina Nance, who has passed away in the van. So the story, the very tidy story, and I just find this problematic because there are a lot of questions that are unanswered here. The very tidy story is that Christina Nance inadvertently locked herself into that police van and then died there. Here's some things that I really have questions about. Want to say welcome to new listeners. If you are on Spoon, I know you have not heard us before. This is a true crime pop-up with True Crime Paranormal, and we are talking about the Christina Nance case. Here's what I find problematic. If those windows can be pushed open, she should be able to yell out the windows, right? There is a street, like the van is parked at the very end of this parking lot, and then there's a street there with cars going up and down right next to it. No one heard or saw anything, apparently. Also, the parking lot where the police cruiser is supposedly where the officers for this police station park. So it's, according to the chief of police, a very active area where there are a lot of people. So why didn't anybody ever hear Christina yell for help? If she really got into that van on the 25th of September, why didn't anyone ever hear her, see her if she was waving her arms, trying to get somebody's attention? I mean, why were her shoes on the ground? Did she throw them out trying to get somebody's attention? I don't know. But this feels fishy to me. The whole thing feels fishy to me. It's very easy to tie it up in a bow and say, well, she just climbed in there and died. You guys, I got to tell you, in my years as a social worker and in my years of podcasting true crime, that women who just wander out somewhere and die are frequently women who've experienced some kind of abuse, because it's not true. We've been dealing with that narrative in domestic violence cases and in MMIW, which is missing and murdered women cases, forever. Oh, she just wandered out into a field and died of exposure. An adult woman. Yeah, sure she did. Sure she did. I'm sure she didn't have any help there. Also, same with Christina. You guys, this just does not fit. And I know the police just want it to go away because she died on their property in one of their vehicles. She's known to them considering her history with CIT. And so it's easy for them, I feel like, to just tie it all up in a bow. But when they showed this surveillance video to her family, they were like, well, we don't feel any better because we don't even know if that's her. You can't tell that that's her. And you can't really tell if she got in the van at that time or not. There's a lot of assuming because she turned up in the van and was dead in the van on the 7th of October. This must have been her on the 25th of September. And you cannot make those assumptions. That is not how investigation of a death happens. They have to prove all that stuff. And this video is proof of nothing. So there's been a preliminary autopsy in which they said that she had no obvious signs of foul play, that they couldn't find any physical signs, any reason for her death. Well, they haven't done toxicology yet. None of the big tests are back yet. This is just the cursory physical exam. So her family has already retained a civil rights attorney, and they are asking for a second autopsy, which I feel is very smart of them. And I feel like we just have to send out so much love to the Nance family to support this, because if this were my sister or my daughter, I would be screaming from the rooftops. First of all, why was that van unlocked? That van was obviously a very dangerous vehicle. It's left unlocked so that anybody, a child, anyone could just open the back door and get in and be locked in and never be able to get out. Why would it be left unlocked? So not okay. And as the chief of police has said, very much against their own policy. So there's a lot to come here, but I just have to tell you that this really has my spidey senses tingling. I think there's more to this story. I really do feel that we're going to see more come out of this, because this is it's just too weird. It's too weird, and it's too simple to just say, oh yeah, she climbed in there and died. You cannot tell me if you were locked in a vehicle like that you wouldn't be screaming out those open windows, getting someone's attention. People could walk by on the sidewalk. Cars were driving back and forth. Police cars coming and going in that parking lot. No one heard her? And how long was she dead in there? Those windows were open. Don't you think somebody might have started to smell if she'd been in there for several days and decomposition started to kick in. I mean, there's just so many things that do not fit here. So I wanted to bring this to your attention because it is quite a new case, and we are going to continue to follow it to see what we can do, to bring awareness to this situation. I just am really uncomfortable with how quickly it's been all fixed and made all better by this so-called surveillance video. Also, the time on the surveillance video was wrong. It said it was at 12:30 a.m. is when this was, and it was actually 12:30 p.m. So how do we trust that this surveillance video was even on the day they say it was? Like there's if there's some things that are wrong with the surveillance video, then it's not trustworthy. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a prosecutor nor a defense attorney. However, if I were, I would be really questioning, you know, the validity of this tape, considering that the time is wrong. Well, how do we know that the date isn't also wrong? Like, very questionable. So that's what I have for you tonight. Of course, we will be back on Monday with a brand new case. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, of course, we have new cases. And then Wednesday night, we have our 7 p.m. Mountain case update live stream. Also, for those of you listening on Spoon, on Tuesdays at noon, we will also be live streaming here on Spoon the Katie Weaver Show. So you'll be able to tune in to that, as well as our live stream on Wednesday night. Thursday will be our live stream at 8 p.m. Mountain, which is the psychic hour, which is it's MST, Angel, Mountain Standard Time is our times. If you look on our profile, I have everything scheduled so you can see what our times are. And then, of course, we'll have, more pop-ups over next weekend. So I really appreciate all of you being here. If you want to see more of our content, if you're new to us, you certainly can do that by going to YouTube or any podcast platform and just look for True Crime Paranormal, and you will find our more than 300 episodes. And of course, we'll be here live streaming as well. I'm really excited to be able to add a new stream, you guys. It just means more awesome people to talk true crime with us and to talk paranormal stuff with us as well. So I just want to say thank you all for being here tonight, for tuning in, whether you're listening live or you're listening after the fact. I certainly appreciate you. And Katie and I will be back on Monday with a new show. So as always, we are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Have a great night.